In case you needed a refresher on Guy Fieri, here he is with two men charged with rape and sex trafficking, that being Andrew and Tristan Tate. Moreover, being a UFC fan in 2026 must be a battle that one simply cannot win. Look at who they host. Look at who they celebrate. Because of the chummy relationship Fieri showcased for the cameras with the Tate bros, a diabolical pairing who have been arrested before and allegedly needed the Trump family to get them out of a jam, the television host is facing a boycott. By the way, never, and I mean never forget.
I'm fascinated by the Guy Fieri Terror Dome they just opened up.
Terror Dome.
Like 600 seats, something like that. Right?
He was in here recently. He's panicking about the amount of seats.
I mean, and a gift shop. And all of these poor diners, drives, and whatever, douchebags waddle in there, you know. First of all, he single-handedly turned the neighborhood into the Ed Hardy district, which I'm a little pissed off about, right? But all of these poor bastards, they see him eating cheap food on TV. They go in there. It's like, what, $18 for a hamburger? You know, the French fries are like 12.
That rent is
By the time you have a drink, you're out of there for like...
Well, you got to know your clientele.
Yeah.
They can afford that, right?
Well, Guy will explain it. You know, hey, it's because we got to pay for the rock and roll. Woo! Gotcha.
I'll tell you, that guy is set back spelling, you know, like two decades.
Holy
you know.
I think he's a fan of Guy Fieri.
Kids trying to spell cool, you know, with a K. Have you read? Have you following Dad Boner?
I like how you said, "Have you read?" and then looked around the room and said, "All right, have you followed?"
Have you seen the movie?
The Twitter account Dad Boner.
No, what's that one about?
He's been working on a screenplay. It's Roadhouse 2, starring Guy Fieri as the cooler. It's work of timeless genius.
Really?
Wow, that sounds hilarious.
At Dad Boner.
At Dad Boner. I got to check that out.
Dad Boner.
That's fucking rock and roll, though, man. You want a burger? Throw some Jack in there.
Oh, look out.
Anthony Bourdain absolutely despised him.
When was the last time you remember just like laughing till you cried, screaming laughing?
Guy Fieri's tweet that he was on his way to a Nickelback concert. That was like the funniest. Of course. Oh my God! Seldom have the planets aligned so beautifully. You know, it's like I'm stopping by. You know, I'm stopping by Johnny Garlic's to say hello to my bros, and then I'm off to see Nickelback. And it was like, no, it can't be true. It's really all I had to do was say, you know, and my good friend Vanilla Ice is coming with me, and really my head would have exploded from the perfect planetary alignment of it all.
Anthony Bourdain is trending after he teed off on his fellow food celebs. In an interview with TV Guide magazine, the star of No Reservations called Paula Deen, quote, the most dangerous person to America, citing her connections to evil corporations and the fact that her food is f***ing bad for you. Bourdain also ripped Guy Fieri, Rachel Ray, and Sandra Lee. Paula Deen fired back in the New York Post that Bourdain needs to get a life, pointing out that she's helped feed more than 10 million people at food banks, while Bourdain seems to contribute little, quote, besides being irritable.
TheTakeout.org wrote during interviews as well as his nationwide stand-up tour, he openly mocked Guy Fieri's wardrobe, his bleached hair, his unhealthy food, and his restaurant empire during a 2012 charity roast for the New York City Wine and Food Festival. The late Bourdain famously asked Fieri, when will you start to de-douche? Are we going to gradually segue to more age-appropriate attire? I'm sorry. All right. Bourdain saw himself as a self-aware truth teller, someone who championed culinary authenticity and cultural respect in an increasingly commercialized food landscape. To him, Fieri represented the opposite, a vapid version of food TV, all spectacle and donkey sauce, devoid of any depth. Then you learn more about the allegations that surfaced with Guy Fieri. You see him hanging out with Andrew and Tristan Tate. And then you come to the conclusion, yeah, that makes sense. About a decade ago, wrote Salon, a former producer on the Triple D, Fieri's long-running Food Network program, alleged via a lawsuit that Fieri was openly homophobic and lewd on set. Via Gothamist, that producer David Page reportedly said, "You have to protect Guy from all of his poop jokes. Anytime any woman mentioned cream, Guy went into a sexual riff. When cutting the show, you had to tell the editors to watch Guy's eye line because it's always on press." The next paragraph would read, "Fieri also needed protection from the LGBTQ plus community, or at least advance warning. Early in the show's run, Page got a phone call from Guy, who just walked out of a restaurant in a huff. Page remembers Guy had decided that the two men running the restaurant were life partners. You can't send me to talk to gay people without warning. Those people weird me out." The piece would continue, with Page being quoted once more. "Guy's team were demanding tremendous research from my people and pictures, but they didn't want to pay for them. Guy said to me," via Page, "You know, it's true. Jews are cheap." Fieri and his team would decline comment. They would then release a statement where he and his team deny the allegations, but another genius in his own right, Jack White, would weigh in. He wrote on Instagram, "Anybody who normalizes or treats this disgusting fascist, racist con man, disgusting piece of blank Trump with any level of respect is also disgusting in my book. That's you, Joe Rogan, you, Mel Gibson, you, Mark Wahlberg, you, Guy Fieri. This is a statement from me, not a discussion/debate." And let me also just say, the UFC at this point is not about being a well put together operation in my eyes. I view it as Dana White trying to milk it for all that it's worth. He will not pay the fighters. He will not allow them to unionize. He puts forward legislation. And at the same time, he will give Kyle Forgard more money than he will give a champion or someone competing for a championship in his own sport. Aiden Ross told a story recently on his kick stream that he was $500,000 in the hole. $500,000. And Dana White bailed him out. He gave more money to a kick streamer than he did to his laborers. This man is profoundly evil. That is why it makes perfect sense why he would host someone like Donald Trump and allow his entire sport to be used as the propaganda arm, or as Mike Ryan Ruiz said on the Webitard show, that they're basically serving as pep rallies for the president. On top of this, not a surprise either that he would allow and extend an invitation to Andrew and Tristan Tate. If you read some of the allegations against them, you would not only be left feeling like you're going to throw up, but you would also question, why is anyone platforming these people? No one should be hosting them at events. They should be behind bars. But for Dana, casual Saturday. Yes, we should absolutely have them in. That is the tent that we want. Okay, well, here you go. And then when you learn more about the past allegations of Guy Fieri, again, the math is just mathing, and it is mathing very hard. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.